Hey everyone, welcome back to the Incredible India podcast series. I'm Sam.
And I'm Taylor. Hello, and welcome to this deep dive.
Our focus today is Ranthambore. Now, when you hear that name, the immediate image is probably a Bengal tiger, right? Majestic, fierce, roaming those dry forests in Rajasthan.
That's what everyone thinks of first, yeah.
Exactly. And while Ranthambore National Park is, justly famous for its wildlife, what we found in the source material is that this is really a land where ancient history and myth are just inseparable from its natural wildness. It's not just a reserve. It's like a living saga, steeped in royal defiance and these powerful, beautiful legends.
It's such an essential distinction, Sam.
Yeah.
And one that really makes Ranthambore unique for anyone visiting. The sources paint this incredible atmosphere.
Yeah. Like what?
Well, imagine being there. Dawn is breaking over the jungle, and there's this thick mist curling through the roots of ancient banyan trees. You hear the sharp cries of peacocks. It sounds almost like the fanfare of some unseen court. And the air smells intensely of like dry dust and wild jasmine. You get this powerful immediate feeling that the memories of kings and queens, the royal pride, they don't just exist near the forest. They actively breathe alongside the roar of the forest itself.
Okay, let's unpack this then, starting with the physical and historical core of the place.
Right. The fort.
Yeah, Ranthambore Fort. It's crowning this virtually impenetrable rocky hill. Our research shows this fortress was built nearly 1,000 years ago by the Chauhan rulers.
1,000 years. That's incredible context.
It wasn't just a castle. It was like a testament to Chauhan defiance.
Yeah.
Built high up in really challenging terrain, designed to guard this strategically vital bit of Rajasthan.
And that strategic importance is exactly why the story of Raja Himirdeo Chauhan, the 13th century ruler, became so immortal. You know, the most enduring chronicle of Ranthambore is the massive siege laid by the Delhi Sultan, Alauddin Khilji.
Khilji, right. Big name in Indian history.
Huge. His ambition was boundless, and he saw Ranthambore as this critical obstacle to his control over northern India. But Hamir, despite, well, overwhelming odds, chose fierce resistance over just surrendering politically.
And the sources really emphasize that this wasn't some quick battle. This siege dragged on for years, didn't it?
Oh, years. The fort was designed so well that Khilji just couldn't take it by force. He had to try and starve them out.
Can you maybe describe just how protracted and bloody this resistance was?
It was absolutely devastating. The sources highlight that as the siege wore on, the defenders faced starvation, certain defeat eventually, but still wouldn't yield.
They just wouldn't give in.
No. For Hamir, it wasn't just about losing territory. It was about protecting the Rajput ideal, this principle that honor prevails over defeat. He refused every attempt by Khilji to negotiate a surrender that would, dishonor his people. This was a huge political statement against a powerful, expanding empire.
And what we found documented is the moment the fort finally prepared to fall. It details this poignant, almost agonizing choice made by the people trapped inside. We have to discuss the act of Johar.
Yes, Johar. It's a term that carries just tremendous historical and cultural weight. When defeat was truly inevitable, and to protect their honor, avoid capture, avoid slavery, the women of the fort performed Johar, a voluntary self-immolation.
God, it's
a tragic, profound decision. It signals the absolute end of the kingdom's life, in a way.
That is a detail that really brings the history to life, even though it's incredibly sorrowful.
Sure.
And following that final devastating act, the sources tell us that Raja Hamir and his remaining men, they donned saffron robes.
Yes, signifying they were already preparing for martyrdom, and then they rode out from the gates for their final doomed battle against Khilji's armies.
So the fort eventually fell.
It fell, yes. But what's crucial is that Hamir's spirit, his defiance, never did. This entire epic of resistance is preserved in texts like the Hamir Mahakavya.
And to provide context for you, the listener, this isn't just some brief historical note, right?
Not at all. It's a lengthy, epic poem, celebrated in Rajasthani culture even today. It's why when you walk through those broken walls, that sense of reverence is so palpable. You feel that strange, quiet gravity that sort of clings only to places where history refused to die peacefully.
It makes the ruins feel like a political monument as much as a tourist site.
Exactly.
Okay, now moving from valor and battle strategy, the defiance of the people in the fort found a new form. Divine intervention.
Ah, yes. The temple.
Right inside those walls is the famous Trinetra Ganesh Temple.
And what's fascinating here is how the divine narrative intersects just perfectly with the history of the siege. Legend says that during the darkest phase of Khilji's siege, When starvation was rampant, morale was collapsing.
Yeah.
Raja Hemir dreamt of Ganesha, the remover of obstacles. In the dream, Ganesha promised help, assurance.
And the sources say that the very next morning, supplies inexplicably appeared at the gate.
That's the story. And critically, Khilji's army, which had been so close to victory, mysteriously retreated, at least for a while.
Wow, okay. So that was seen as a clear miracle, saving the defender's spirit.
Absolutely. And the consequence of that vision is the temple we see today. Hamir built the Trinetra Ganesh Temple to commemorate that divine intervention.
And what makes this site so unique, globally even?
It's one of India's very few temples where Ganesha is worshipped with 3 eyes, hence Trinetra.
Why is the third eye, the Trinetra, so significant in this context? What does it symbolize?
Well, the third eye usually symbolizes deep insight, foresight, the ability to see beyond the immediate, understand past, present, and future simultaneously.
Which must have been incredibly powerful for Hamir.
Exactly. Given that Hamir was besieged, couldn't see a future. This vision of Ganesha offering foresight and hope became the ultimate symbol of divine protection. It promised a future for the people, even when all human logic suggested immediate annihilation.
It's a powerful cultural detail. And that sense of connection, that deep faith, it persists today in this, well, delightful way.
Oh, absolutely. The modern tradition is just incredible. Every year, thousands of devotees, not just from Rajasthan, but from all across India,
Yeah.
they send actual letters and wedding invitations addressed simply to Shri Ganesh Ji, Ranthambore Fort.
Wait, actual wedding invitations, like inviting Ganesha to their wedding?
They are. It's a huge volume of mail. The sources confirm that the postal workers in the region are so familiar with this tradition, they know exactly where to deliver this correspondence. No problem.
That's amazing.
It's seen as seeking the deity's blessing on a new venture, a major life event, stuff like that. It really speaks to a faith that bridges 1,000 years of history with, the modern postal system. It's absolutely seamless.
It really shows that the protective energy of the fort didn't just disappear when the kings lost power. It just transformed into a different kind of protection, maybe.
Well put.
So let's transition now from the fort walls to the jungle itself, because this is where the legends turn distinctly feline, connecting royal power back to the wilderness.
Indeed. The forest has its own royalty. Now we shift to the tale of Rani Padmavati of Ranthambore. She's said to have possessed this famed jeweled anklet, a symbol of the kingdom's fortune.
Okay.
And when a Mughal noble tried to seize this powerful artifact, she laid a terrible and powerful curse upon him.
And the curse was strikingly precise, wasn't it? Protective of her domain. May you be devoured by what you cannot conquer.
Exactly. Very specific threat in a land filled with tigers.
Right.
And the legend follows through. Days later, that same noble was found, tragically, mauled by a tiger near Padam Talao, one of Ranthambore's central lakes.
So the locals took this as a sign.
They did. That the queen had returned in the form of the great cat to ensure her realm remained unconquerable. This tradition is so strong that even today, the most famous, powerful tigresses of Ranthambore.
Like Mackley, the famous one.
It's exactly like Mackley, who was arguably the most photographed tiger in the world. They're still lovingly referred to by villagers as Raniji,
Queens of the jungle.
Queens of the Jungle. It truly integrates that royal history with natural conservation. The people view the tigers not just as wildlife, but as the enduring, fierce spirit of their queens.
That's quite a perspective.
And this fierce protective energy is balanced by a much gentler legend, the story of the monk and the tiger.
Okay.
Our materials detail this centuries-old story of a wandering monk meditating deep within the Ranthambore forest. For days, apparently, he was silently guarded by a great tiger who just sat patiently beside him.
Wow. What happened when the peace was disturbed? Did anyone find them?
Well, a hunter did. Intent on killing the tiger, he approached. But as the hunter raised his gun, it misfired. The monk, who then recognized the sanctity of the animal, the protective power of the forest, declared this powerful blessing over the land.
What was the blessing?
This land shall forever be a refuge for those who come in peace, not for those who seek to conquer.
Okay. Here's where it gets really interesting. Connecting that ancient blessing to the modern scientific reality we see now.
Yeah.
That story of refuge perfectly encapsulates the conservation success Ranthambore represents today, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It's uncanny. The same forests that once echoed with, the shouts of Khilji's invading army and Hamir's defiance now primarily resound with peaceful bird calls and the clicking of camera shutters. Ranthambore's ecosystem is widely regarded as a model of successful wildlife recovery. The monk's declaration seems to have sort of echoed through history.
And the sources show a steady rise in the tiger population.
They do, largely thanks to dedicated conservation efforts and, importantly, carefully managed ecotourism. It's pretty remarkable how the area transitioned from this symbol of intense human conflict to a sanctuary for nature.
That's quite the turnaround.
And it's not without complexity, of course. Success means tigers thrive, but this also increases pressure on the surrounding human settlements. But the local willingness to engage with ecotourism, perhaps fueled by that reverence for the Raniji the queen tigers, helps sustain the conservation model. The jungle, kind of honoring the monk's blessing, truly became a sanctuary.
Which brings us to our final haunting echo. This one combines the tragic historical sorrow of the siege with the wildlife mystery of the lake. We have the lingering ghost story of the Ranthambore Kirani.
Ah, yes. It's a classic tragic tale, circling right back to the tragedy of the fort. This is the woman in white who supposedly appears at twilight near Padam Talao Lake.
The same place where the noble was mauled by the tiger.
The very same place. She is said to be the spirit of a noblewoman waiting eternally for a husband who never returned from battle after the Jahar.
It sounds like the human heartache of the 13th century is still sort of echoing off the water.
It is a truly evocative, haunting echo of the fort's tragic history. Many rangers and locals have reported seeing this faint, graceful glow near the lake at dusk, moving like mist.
Okay.
And while science, of course, might offer explanations like bioluminescent insects or just a trick of the light.
The rational explanation.
Yeah, but when you stand there, surrounded by these ancient ruins, where queens, cursed nobles, and soldiers rode to their death, even logic feels slightly haunted, you know?
I can imagine.
Yeah.
So if we synthesize all these elements, the fierce history, the three-eyed blessing, the queen tiger mythology, and these ghostly reminders, what does Ranthambore ultimately mean for the learner, the traveler who visits today?
I think Ranthambore is a living museum, maybe curated not just by human intervention, but by time and nature itself. You might come seeking wildlife, the thrill of seeing a tiger, but you leave having witnessed something far deeper. A profound, continuous connection between myth, memory, and wilderness. The historical conflict Hamir's defiance almost laid the foundation for it becoming this deeply protected area, as if the land itself decided it would no longer be conquered.
That makes sense.
It's a place that stays with you, quietly reminding you that the line between legend and reality is often just the edge of the forest.
That brings everything we've discussed together very neatly. We want to leave you, the listener, with one final thought to consider. How the intense defiance of Raja Hamir Deo Chauhan and the protective, almost supernatural curse of Rani Padmavati, both, in completely different ways, laid the enduring foundation for Ranthambore to become the fiercely protected, thriving refuge it is today. Their fight to protect the land ultimately defined its future.
A timeless lesson in resilience, really.
If you decide to travel to Ranthambore, we have a recommendation. 5 Senses Tours organizes tours across India, which are immersive cultural experiences. You can email contact@fivesensestours.com. Note 5 is written as a numeral in contact at fivesensestours.com, or WhatsApp to +919 845 677 446.
Thank you for diving deep into the history and legends of the jungle with us today.
We'll catch you on the next deep dive.